make any changes.
You're good. You look good.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I am Kate Volman, and you are watching Getting Down to Biz. As always, I have my fun co-host, Karen Turk. Hi, Karen.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
And today we are super excited about our guest. It's really our pleasure to be able to have Carrie Castor on because she is the founder of 21 Drops. She is a local business close to Karen and I here in South Florida in Delray Beach. And she is an essential oils expert. She has such a fascinating background about how she started and built her business because of her love of plants and nature and really the whole idea of living a healthy and holistic lifestyle. And that's really kind of what drew her to studying and learning more about essential oils and then obviously to start her business. So she's had quite a career in what she does, and I'm really excited to chat with her, hear from her, and for those of you out there watching, get some good tips because we had a conversation the other day about just kind of how to grow this kind of business, and it's not easy. So hopefully you can learn a few things from some of the obstacles that Carrie was able to break through. So Carrie, thank you so much for joining us.
Well,
Thanks, Carrie.
thank you for having me. It's always about sharing the love and the knowledge of using oils because they are my passion for sure.
Yes, and it's so clear to see. So let's kind of start there because you have such an impressive bio, just kind of your journey and path to what drew you to essential oils and your love of nature. So just talk a little bit about kind of how you got started and what this passion is for you.
Okay, cool. Well, I actually was painfully shy as a child, and I loved to be out in nature. It was the one place where people didn't talk back. I came from a very big, loud family, and it was sometimes overwhelming. So I used to retreat and go out and climb trees and enjoy being out in nature. And didn't really know. Always enjoyed hiking, extracurricular activities outside. I was just one of these people. And when I got to the point where I was ready to go to college, I'm like, what can I do that I'm going to be outside and what really is my passion? And so I didn't even realize there was a degree in horticulture or plant science until I actually went to University of Florida and studied plant science. And when I graduated, I worked at Fairchild Tropical Gardens down in Miami, which actually was like a gateway to the tropics. And unfortunately, this is over 30 years ago. So it was a lot different than in the research and how they went to the tropics and they would bring things back. And I was fortunate that in my job as a rare plant house manager, I actually was introduced to the scientists bringing these plants back that they were studying for medicine, for foodstuff, for different purposes, and always personally believed in natural was best. You know, I always think we're a product of time and place, and before we were a civilized society, animals, plants, we all evolved on the planet together, that nature does provide everything we need to live a healthy life. So the less removed we are from the basics, the healthier our lifestyle is. But I was always fascinated by the shamans who would know what plants to use, and quite frankly, even animals, if they were born with some sort of defects. And I heard a story when I was in Africa about one elephant who had some heart problem, and he was the only elephant that ate a particular plant because it helped to balance his condition. So intuitively and on a different vibration, these plants do speak to us and have their vibration. They have their chemistry that is very much tied in. We did evolve. We need these vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates to make our body survive. So that all was just always intrinsic into my understanding of nature and how we evolved as human beings, as real Homo sapiens, so to speak. So when people talk about a paleo diet, I mean, we are of the earth. I believe the earth provides us with everything it needs. And then really it was a little bit later when I got married and decided to raise my family that I knew I didn't want to give my children medications. I'm just not, again, herbalist. I took home herbal studies, but I also found essential oils in my travels. And when I found out that and being a botanist, knowing that it takes pounds and pounds of plant material to extract this very active essential oil, I realized how potent it was, and how, of course, being very sensual and enjoying the scents of flowers and nature, when you could concentrate the essential oil active ingredients and just open the little vial and know that, look, frankincense comes from South Africa and they distilled it, and here I can just order and get some frankincense oil. I mean, the people don't always appreciate all the time, energy, effort it goes into even extracting and distilling these essential oils, and the fact that we have them available to us. And so that really started my journey, raising my kids naturally. And in the beginning, I was self-taught, but then my fascination grew, and there's different companies that are multi-level, and when I was asked questions about using the oils that I didn't know how to answer, I decided to go and get more knowledgeable. So I did year-long certification programs in aromatherapy in England, where it is used as a complementary modality. And then I'm also a licensed massage therapist because, again, understanding the chemistry of the oils, you also need to understand how it works on the body. And so getting a massage license for me was with 3 small children, was the easiest way to learn about the body. And so I'm also a licensed massage therapist, and incorporating the essential oils into my practice over many years was how I started the idea of doing consultations with people, creating blends just for them, and eventually wanting to share those remedies with the more people, and coming up with 21 drops. So I don't, it might have gone maybe not as direct, but that's a bit of the journey. I actually did get, when 21 drops was in the back of my mind, I did get advanced certification in aromatherapy here in the US, and then went to France for a clinically certified program so that I could feel confident that I really understood more about the chemistry, more about safety, more about reading the quality of essential oils. It's very important. There's a lot on the market, and so not understanding these very basic principles of safety and quality is going to make a big difference whether you get good results with your oils. So I just think that's something that's really missing in a larger scale of people trying to use essential oils. The quality is of utmost importance, and it's because essential oils are very easily adulterated or created from byproducts of other industries, like petroleum industries. The molecules of essential oils are so minute and easily replicated for the scent of the oils, so that they're easily copied or adulterated. So that's something that, unless you know how to look at a gas chromatography mass spectrometry chart, you really don't know the quality you're getting. So that's just another area.
And I appreciate so much your passion for your business, and I think that that's something that's really important, for a lot of the people who, follow us is, what made you want to start this as a business? Did it just evolve over time, or what happened for you? What was that moment where you said, this is what I really need to be doing?
You hit the nail on the head. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and literally, I was in New York. Husband and I live in, born and raised in Florida, but we tend to go to New York at least once or twice a year and enjoy the city. And I swear it was like 5 things: aromatherapy, and then I went into a store and there was an aromatherapy product, and I get excited when there's other aromatherapy products, because then I don't have to always be making my own, and somebody's taken, that initiative. And then I look at the ingredients, and I get so frustrated because there's alcohol, there's additives, there's fixatives, and I was just like, why can't somebody just make this easy for people? Why can't they have it? And of course now, even I've been in business now starting my 6th year, there are a lot more options of good quality products, but at the time I just got so frustrated that that it shouldn't really be that difficult to really provide a high quality pre-blended for the average person who maybe doesn't want to have to start buying into, all the little chemistry set that you need to get yourself started.
You know what's very interesting too is I think, when you talk about, the oils and just how it kind of overtook you at that point that you kind of had that epiphany. And I mean, obviously you started out somewhere, you started out smaller than you are now. What was that thing that made you take that first step? Obviously the ingredients led you to it, but then what was the next step in that process? What happened to you next?
So it was actually a great beginning in that I went to a health and beauty expo in New York at Javits Center, where there's speakers. It's a big convention, packaging companies, branding companies, all kinds of suppliers all attend this big conference. And so I went to this conference and basically heard different people speaking, and by the end of that conference I had made appointments with 3 different companies to meet with them. They were branding companies, and basically did a RFP, a request for proposal, and saying, this is my idea. These are the things I've already been doing. Even before that, I was like playing with my own website, which of course even today would have been such a different story. It was not as, they don't have the templates even 7 years ago when I was getting started, or 6 years ago, that they do today. So the whole idea, just by going to that conference and hearing people speak and understanding how they developed, they help you to develop a brand with the packaging, with the ingredients, having the suppliers of all the packaging solutions. So yeah, that was really it, and did met with 3 different companies, got different proposals.
Did you have a background in business before? Had you done anything early in your life? Zero. Okay,
Zero.
So that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So.
And that's typically, I mean, that's what so many people do when they're super passionate about something, and then you just kind of have to go and figure it out. I told Karen, I said, when I was talking to Carrie, I felt like I could have, this would have been a business that I would be watching on Shark Tank or something, like just trying to get to that next level, and some of the stuff that you did, especially when you talk about just the packaging behind things and how you were going to market it. And we talked a little bit about...
You were your feet on the street. I mean, you were the person. You were the person who was representing. You were doing it on your own. You didn't have a sales force. You were pounding the pavement. You were learning what to do with the business, and then...
And what not to do.
So why don't you share, what are some things that you would have done a little bit differently? Like if you started today, like what are knowing what you know, what are some of those things you would do?
Yeah, well, oh gosh, I think probably might not have started the business had I, done all the things that I now realize I should have done. The first thing I definitely should have done is have had a better business plan. And even though in the end you're not going to stick to it necessarily exactly how you plan it, I was very fortunate in that I had full support of my husband, who wanted to support me. He knew I've raised my kids, for 30 years, always just using the oils. And in that regard, I didn't really know exactly how to allocate the different money, because we had a website. Quite frankly, we almost got so much attention right up front that we spread ourselves too thin. And so with all this great awareness, we really just spread ourselves too thin. And so, as far as what I would recommend and do differently, I'd really do the homework and try to understand, obviously it all has to do about ROI. My packaging, as beautiful as it is, it's not cost effective. My cost of goods are way too high. I wanted this gorgeous packaging, that emulated layers of meaning. And if I tell you, the first round even had an embossing plate for each different blend. That's 20 different plates. So, you know, I did all this stuff that was so but it's like,
and
oh, if that's what
we
you
say
want.
that all the time, Kate. We talk about that all the time, that, you know, you can get wrapped up in the details, you know,
Right.
and your creative space takes over, and next thing you know, you're going 10 steps beyond where you really needed to be. And sometimes it's better to just put something out, take initiative, take some chances, make it as good as it is for the beginning, and then take it to the next step rather than just go gangbusters out the gate. Because
And as a matter of fact, it was a blessing and a curse. 9 months of launching, we had Sephora reach out to us. So here,
Sephora contacted you?
Yes, and they said this is like the only time we've ever really, you know, we haven't done this, but you know, they get so many products every day that are, and they called us, and we met with them, and we were in 5 of their brick and mortar, but really I didn't have the time. I mean, I'd launched the brand, and within a year I'm in 3 Sephoras, and then during the holidays in 265 doors. And at the same time, which, I mean, when Sephora comes knocking, like, wow, you know, this is it. But they didn't really have a place for us. It really, you know, you do not sell essential oils in a you know, cosmetic fragrance. They kept putting us in fragrance. And so it was definitely lessons learned there. But we did create this beautiful packaging. So even though we are a wellness product, we made it beautiful for a beauty style market, and so that in itself has been a bit of a dichotomy and making it harder for us to find the ultimate sales location. And of course now it's definitely the high-end spas, retailers, they understand it.
I think you made a really good point with, you know, you took a chance, you said, this is my dream, this is what I want, here's the store that wants us and wants my product, and you went for it. And then you kind of said, you know, maybe it's not exactly the right fit, but you would have never made the next decision on your journey had you not done that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you really just have to analyze. And to be honest, in retrospect, certainly, you know, getting my feet wet in a smaller scale before I had said, okay, you know, even though they wanted us, it would have been really hard to say no. But the reality is, if I had said no and done some more learnings prior to really going into the business, you know, and also they were supposedly creating this naturals and oils section in the store, and that was what they had told us. And each time we went in, it was in the fragrance. The good news is, right now, a gentleman was pulled from the Sephora, and he's now created a new all-natural beauty retail store. It's called Credo Beauty, and they carry 21 drops, and they're growing leaps and bounds. So we're very excited to be partnering with them. So in the end, it was a great introduction, and I'm sure that was part of them finding us as a brand. So, you know, you never know how it's going to go around and come around, but that was also a big learning. And, you know, I always could recommend that make sure you start small. You really have ironed out, you know, who you are, who your audience is, and, you know, really take it slow, and don't be so enamored because it was actually a very expensive game to play with the requirements that they demanded as well from us. So while some of these big box stores seem, you know, glorious, it's actually a lot of work, and in terms and all those different things that come into play on selling to a national retailer.
So now you have your own storefront, right?
Well, we're opening on Monday.
Oh, is it Monday? Oh, good. So
yeah. So part of go ahead.
I was going to say I got to come and experience it when you had your little grand opening, and it was beautiful.
Thank you. Great
location. Really beautiful. You have some really nice neighbors right across the way. One of my favorites, Slash Fitness, and which is really nice. We live in a community that are so supportive of small business. So I'm really excited that you had a great turnout, and I'm so glad that I got to come in and see and experience some of the oils.
Well, and I'm going to get to see it too, Kate. Can we make our announcement now?
Oh, well, we'll wait till the end. We'll wait till the
Okay.
end. But yeah, but we're gonna have Karen come in. But let's talk about that because that was for you. You were selling mostly to the spas and everything, so you
Right.
wanted to do more of like a business to consumer play. So
Yeah,
why
well,
did you decide to do that?
yeah, well, so most of the main reason was is every day somebody came into the store saying, "Oh, can we buy it?" And was like, "No, go up the street, to another store that's selling it." And so that didn't quite make sense. And then just for that same reason about wanting some earlier learnings, when right now at the when we go into production of our blends, we have to make at least 1,000 to 5,000 units of any one blend. And so here at the store, I can make small batches of really homespun, raw ingredients, and see the reception and see people's reaction, see if they like the way it smells, get their feedback before I then go into a larger production. So here I'm able to test a little more and try out new things and see what people respond to. Our bug spray, our natural bug spray, is definitely the winner, and it works. I have many people who swear by it, so that's exciting. And so yeah, so that was part of it. My whole life in raising my kids, uh, basically anything you have in your house that you use as a personal product, a cleansing product, everything can be made homemade with using essential oils as a way to enhance and cleanse and purify both the body and your environment. And so all those years that I created all these different things, when I created 21 Drops, it's like there's only so much you can do on a large scale. And this is just my opportunity then to create smaller batches and see how people respond.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And in this space, is there a specific person or mentor or someone that has really been able that you found that has kind of been side by side with you this whole time? Were you able to find someone like that, or was it just kind of as you go, people coming in and out?
Yeah, I've gone through a lot of different teams. That's definitely been the hardest thing for me. Even people I love dearly, it just ends up not being a good fit. And I've developed relationships with, and whether certain things happen that revenue stream isn't working anymore, and I have to make changes. So unfortunately, from the beginning, I'm the only one who is still been the consistent force. Even family who's helped in some of their initial design, they just helped with bits and pieces. Different people have helped with different parts, but other than my husband, who's been my backbone and supportive in many ways. He's not really involved in the business at all. So
he's just a good cheerleader.
Yeah, most of the time. Until it's like, where are the sales? Where are the sales?
I work with my husband, so it's good. It's good, but there's.
Well, I think I'm a little older than you, so we're 31 years, so. It's a long time to be together, and no, he's been very supportive, really.
And how long did it take you when you started the business to be profitable?
I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. No, we do. We broke even last year. It's a big endeavor. Any money that you make, you put back into the business. So that's a big question. It's a constant feed. So when you say profitable, I guess it's hard to say because anything that comes in goes back into feeding the business to grow. So. All right, and
that's
being totally honest.
Listen,
that's
fantastic.
Without getting a salary.
That you can do that, and follow your passion. There's something to be said for that. And you're helping people, and you're helping it create awareness for things that are more traditional and more holistic. And I think it's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah. I was going to say, if I want to reiterate one thing too with 21 Drops, it's also not just yes, I want to sell a product and become profitable, and I look very much forward to that happening. But we do also want to be a source of education and outreach and overall wellness, being there for people to supply them with information as best as we can. So that's the other thing. If people want to use other oils, that's fine, but use them safely. Make sure you have good quality. I just knew how many mistakes I had made, and so I wanted to provide something that was easy and safe, so that there were no contraindications, no oversensitivity. So we are also a platform. We want to open our doors for different meetings, women's groups, wellness groups, being really a conduit for wellness overall. So, we want to open our doors in that regard and support, like you say, the community and encouraging people to be their best self.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to getting to know you better.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
you. Where can people find you? Where's the best place for people to go? Your website?
Yeah, so the best place is definitely the website. It's 21drops.com. There's even an Ask Carrie, so if you have any aromatherapy questions, I think I've calculated over 2,000 hours of education, probably maybe more. I'm on the board of the Alliance of International Aromatherapists. I am a straight conduit. Robert Tisserand, who's the grandfather of aromatherapy and safety, he's written the Bible, the thick book. I have it right here. But I shoot him an email and he answers me as well. If there's questions I don't know, I have great resources available. I feel very fortunate that I've developed relationships with some of the top aromatherapists in the world, because they're not in the U.S., they're in the world. So I feel very, very fortunate that I have that relationship, being active in the community. So so please reach out if you have any questions. And we love you. We're just all about spreading the love.
Awesome. Well, I love it. I'm so excited. I need to come in and see you. I need to see you for sure. I was going through the oils when I was there, and I just was trying to pick which one was best for me and what I needed. And so I'm very curious, because I do some marketing for a spa, so we always get new oils and essential oils in, and I'm always just curious especially now that you've said there are so many out there that aren't as high quality as they need to be and might not give you the results. So I'm looking forward to learning more about all of your essential oils and which ones I should be using. So thank you so much, Carrie. Everyone, check out what is your website?
It's 21drops.com.
21drops.com. Awesome. And you can obviously find her on social media. So check them out.
Yeah, we have some great people in the office do great, beautiful, creative things on Instagram and Twitter, and we have Twitter parties with different co-branding with other companies. So if you're interested we have other companies that are like-minded. We're happy to do things like that, and it's all about collaborating.
Yes. Awesome. I love it. And we're going to get you to do some videos. We're going to be we're going to do some live streaming videos. I'll make my way over to Slash and then come over to you.
Okay, great.
I'm not doing it, Kate. I'm out at 5:30 in the morning. It ain't happening. So not count me in for that.
Well, you can do it with me. I'm there at 5:30.
I know where you go at 5:30 a.m.
Yes, let's do it.
Check in on Facebook.
I do 5:30 p.m.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie. We appreciate talking to you. And Karen and I just want to make a really fun announcement about our show, because we've been doing Getting Down to Biz now for a couple months. Mm-hmm. We have decided that, Karen, you want to tell people what we've decided to do?
We have decided to go on location. So we're going to go out and we're going to visit you and other business owners in the area and just take our show on the road.
Yep. Yeah, so anytime that we are able to, obviously there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are not local, and we'll continue to do them on this kind of platform. Okay. But for those who are local, like Carrie and 21 Drops, we are going to come in and see their store and on location, and really get to kind of have that look and feel and touch the product and everything. So we get to share and have that experience. So I will be calling when I have that all set up with our video person, and I'm excited to come and do this again.
Right.
And when we come,
Me too. Nice to meet you.
and when we come and do that one, it'll be more around. We'll talk more about the oils and how people can choose which ones, and we'll talk a little bit more about the products and everything.
And we'll shop.
And we'll shop, of course.
Okay, great.
So much, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.